Hey everyone, Juan Weezar here, president of Sage Real Estate, and we have another success series to show you guys, and we're sitting down with Ali Rafi. Ali, you have an amazing story. So guys, make sure you tune in to the very end because I want to show you start to finish Ali's journey. So Ali contacted us when he was 26 years old. This was maybe about a year and a half ago. Calls me on a Thursday, said, I know this is going to sound weird, but I found you on YouTube and I'm ready to buy something in Long Beach. And I was looking at the phone and it was out of area code. I'm like, Ali, where are you located? He's like, I'm in San Jose right now. And I'm like, why do you want to come to Long Beach? And then he said, you know what? Can I just come see you? I'm like, sure. Drives down the next day. So just calls me on a Thursday, shows up to my office on Friday, and he was ready to go. During that time, he had been saving up. And he was working with someone down in San Diego, wasn't quite sure. He was definitely certain he wanted to invest, but wasn't certain exactly where to go. So, Ali,
yeah,
that's our introduction. Tell us about your background, where the motivation came from, and when you came to me, you were like, gun-ho, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Talk to us about like what got you there.
Just American dream. No, I mean, I wanted to get into real estate. I wanted to get into multifamily. I was inspired by bigger pockets. And I was looking to buy in the Bay Area where I'm from, but it was just so competitive, all cash buyers. And I was specifically looking for a multifamily for under $1 million. So I'm looking in Oakland, in the East Bay Area. It's competitive, it's all cash buyers. It's not safe. So I started looking in San Diego and Long Beach, and then I found you on YouTube, and you specialize in multifamily. So that's what got me interested.
That is awesome. So Ali, so when you came, I mean, we showed you several properties. I had the opportunity to meet your father. Did you have the support from your dad in terms of this crazy idea? Because mind you, if you're watching this, he's in Northern California, we're down in Southern California. That's what, a 6-7 hour drive?
Right.
So it wasn't exactly like he's investing in the area that he grew up in. It wasn't like hey, I went to high school down the street. He was investing in a city he didn't quite really know. What did your dad or maybe other people tell you about what you were planning on doing?
Yeah, I mean, they were risk averse for sure. But I knew Long Beach had a lot of multifamily, so that was what I was interested in. But yeah, I mean, it was obviously there was the distance factor. I knew I had to get familiar with the area, so that's why I was coming down for I think like 6 or 7 weeks, looking at houses, getting familiar with the places, putting in offers. So it was a process. It was risky, especially because this house is 113 years old, and it was my first house. So I didn't really know what I was getting into. I had to replumb everything, change all the panels. I mean, we did basically a full remodel. So it was definitely not easy, but we made it happen.
Yeah.
So.
And it was just really great working with you. And the one thing where I was really inspired is that you were determined. We were able to help negotiate this price, negotiate some repairs behind it. But you already had another goal in mind where I thought, now, if you're watching this, the front house is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot house. And in the back, there's an ADU. So just call it like just a rear unit. Maybe, so 2 detached homes is what I would describe it. The back unit's pretty small, around 450 square feet. I said, Ali, this is a big house for you. He's like, I'm not gonna live in the front house. I'm gonna live in the back house. And I said, oh, what are you gonna do with the front house? Thinking, oh, Ali's smart. He's gonna take the smaller unit and rent this out like most people would. But instead, you were thinking Airbnb.
House hack.
House hack. So talk to us about, you had never done Airbnb.
Correct.
Within days of you closing this escrow, you kind of knew the process with the city, you did your own research, and within days we have lunch, you tell me, Juan, I got the okay, I got the permit to have an Airbnb.
Right.
Talk to us about why you went down the Airbnb route, and now that you've done it for over a year, how's it working out for you?
Yeah, I'd love to. So yeah, just to preface, everything is permitted with the city, and that's extremely important if you're going to do Airbnb. You don't want to get shut down or fined tens of thousands of dollars. But I was inspired by Bigger Pockets podcast. They always talk about house hacking, so living in one unit, renting out the other ones. So initially I wanted to do a triplex or a fourplex, live in one unit and do traditional long-term tenants. But I realized I couldn't get anything for under $1 million that was reasonable. So that's when I started looking at the Airbnb route. Finding a jurisdiction that allowed short-term rentals was critical. So that was another reason I wanted to do Long Beach. But I mean, it was a month or 2 month process to get that permit. You know,
Okay.
you have to jump through some hoops, get the place inspected, but it's not too difficult to do if you're doing it the right way.
Okay. How's it working out for you?
Really well. I mean, it's allowed me to live for free, basically, and build equity in the house. You know, last year, just on this one 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, we did 90,000 across all the short-term rental platforms that I'm on. So, I mean, yeah, it's basically allowed me to live for free, which has been great, and build equity in the house. Obviously, that's not all profit. So maybe like a quarter of that or a third of that is going to be profit.
Got it. Got it. So Ali's telling an interesting story. You know, typically, I'm more from the old school mindset where you just get in your traditional tenants and operate it that way. But that way doesn't maximize the profits. That way, you still would have to be paying for the back unit. Because remember what he just said. He got to live for free and made about 25,000 profit in living here. So,
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, think about, and then also when the front house is not being rented, were you staying? I mean, it's your house. You could stay in this
Absolutely.
house.
Yeah, it's not always rented, so you can have family over, throw Thanksgivings, whatever you want to do. Or, you know, I work with cleaners sometimes. I'll say, you know, come throw an event for yourself or whatever. You know, so you still have access to the house, which is great.
All right, Ali. So a lot of the folks watching this, they're going to say, okay, but how did Ali, who's, you know, for the most part, fresh out of college, how did he save up the down payment? Is his dad super wealthy and gave him the money? Talk to us on how you were able to buy your first investment.
Yeah, I mean, I graduated from Cal Poly Pomona in Los Angeles as a business major. I went straight into software sales. So I did that for 5 years while living at home. So that's how I was able to save up for the down payment.
So your sacrifice is, hey, I'm fresh out of college. You're probably not used to living at home. And now you're living at home so you could save up the money.
Exactly.
Got it. In most situations, and if you've been watching my channel, you know that I tell you that I warn you, don't expect to buy in Southern California with the expectations of I'm going to cash flow. And in over 100 plus videos that I've done, that's really been my message. But in this case, Ali did it. He cash flowed.
Yeah.
But Ali also did something that was thinking outside of the box, was going down the Airbnb route. Now he could have Airbnb'd the rear property, but you probably decided not to do that.
Well, the city doesn't allow it because
Okay.
they want ADUs for traditional tenants due to the housing shortage.
Okay. So the ADU, they wouldn't allow it for that one,
Correct.
but certainly they would allow the front
Exactly.
house. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, talk to us about, was the property move-in ready when we were here? Because I don't remember it looking this nice as we're standing here. I mean, I really love what you've done with just all the built-ins and all the things that you've done. It's just really, really come together. I mean, we got the
Thanks,
fireplace in
yeah.
the back, and so talk to us about the extent of the remodels that you got yourself into on your first investment.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. Again, 113-year-old house. So, I mean, there was the stuff we wanted to do, which was like the floors, the kitchens, and the bathrooms, but there was so many unexpected things.
Yeah.
So, one was the plumbing, which was, extremely old. So we had to replumb the house, which was, obviously a huge expense. Electrical panels. I'm probably forgetting a bunch of other stuff, but I mean, it was, I've never done anything like this before. So it was not an easy process.
Right. When you were going through this, were you scared? Were you nervous? I mean, tell us about what were you feeling when we were submitting offers or we were in the escrow process?
Yeah, I mean, there was so much uncertainty. It's just funny because I had no idea how the house was going to do on Airbnb. Like, you can look at AirDNA or a lot of these other tools online that tell you what to expect, but it ended up doing super well, and it gave me the confidence to now I'm like, okay, I can get my second, third, fourth, fifth unit and really make this like a very strong source of semi-passive income, because I think Airbnb is semi-passive to passive. But yeah, I mean, I was extremely anxious about the whole process.
Sure.
But and I think like a popular thing they say is like, just get into your first house, right? It doesn't have to be the best thing possible, but you'll learn so much from that. It doesn't have to be the best deal in the world though, right?
So here's one thing I want to point out. Where this property is located, this is not exactly in what I would call one of Long Beach's best areas. And so I mean, it's true, and you would say that. I mean, we have our Belmont Shore, our Naples areas. This is near a few blocks north of downtown. And oftentimes people will ask me, I would love to do Airbnb, but I doubt that it's going to be successful in those areas. And talk to us about, why do you think this location, I mean, for anyone who lives in Long Beach, they're going to look at this area and they're going to wonder why it is that you're having success here, even though from their perception, this area may not be as desirable.
Yeah. Yeah, location is obviously extremely important, but it's just funny, like a lot of folks have misconceptions about Airbnb because like we're LA locals, right? Well, at least you are. And so Disneyland is like 40 to 50 minutes away, but when people come here, more than half the time they're from the Midwest.
Okay.
And so they're coming here to go to Disneyland, to go to Universal Studios, to go on cruises, to go to downtown Los Angeles. So really for them, it's not like they're trying to stay right next to the place they're trying to go to. But still, location is important. I mean, you do want to be in somewhere that's not extremely, crime rate.
Right. Well, and that brings me to my next question. Okay. So you're not going to believe this. We closed the escrow, and in this specific situation, the property needed to be fumigated, and it needed to have the kind of the tent fumigation to be put over it, over the house, over the garage. Well, during that time, Ali flies back home to San Jose. He calls me and says, "Hey Juan, you're not going to believe it. They broke into my house, this house. We had just closed escrow, and they stole my car out of the garage." And so I know he's talking about that people want to be in an area that's not crime ridden, but I was freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, Ali's not from Southern California. He just bought this property. He's super young. His dad believes in him, but just not sure that this is a property he should be buying. And his car gets stolen the first week he owns it. How'd you get over that?
Yeah, it was extremely tough. It was the first week that I had bought the house that the car got stolen. So it was not a great welcome to Long Beach. But I mean, we got through it. I filed the insurance claim, and they salvaged the car because it had damage. They found the car, and it was damaged, a few days later. But so I lost the car. Insurance, paid out for the car's value. So it was okay, but it was definitely not a good welcome to Long Beach for sure.
The thing that I love about Ali is that a lot of people would have thrown in the towel and would have said, "The heck with this place. My dad was right. This is just not for me." But you stuck with it, and now we're a year and a half into it. On average, what does this front house rent for?
Depends
on Airbnb, just more or less, or what's the range?
Yeah, it's going to depend. So I use a software that basically knows if, for example, the Grand Prix is in Long Beach, or if it's New Year or Christmas, it's going to charge way more. So the range is anywhere from $250 a night to $750 a night. For example, on New Year's, it was $750 for the night.
Wow. And now, a lot of times people think of Airbnb, including myself, and I think, oh my gosh, people are going to come and they're going to party and they're going to rage and they're going to ruin my property.
Yeah.
Neighbors are going to complain. Have you experienced any of those things, or is it just a misconception that I and maybe some of the viewers might have?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, the short answer is you want to have all your bases covered. Airbnb will cover you, but you also probably want to have an umbrella policy. So you want to definitely have that. And also there's certain things you can do, right? You can, instead of having a 1-night minimum stay, you can have a 2-night minimum stay, which is really going to help eliminate people that are just coming here to have a party. They're locals. And you can also just vet people a little bit better. So there's a lot of things you can do using technology and just kind of doing your due diligence to make sure those things don't happen. And I'll also say the parties and the disruptive events tend to happen at the lower price point Airbnbs, the $50 to $99 a night ones. So those are, a little bit riskier, I would say. Whereas at the higher price point, you're going to get people that are going to respect your property a little bit more.
Now, Ali, so you did an excellent job of maximizing the income on the property, living in the back for free. Now, the one thing we didn't mention is that you have a big 2-car garage. What are your plans, or what are you thinking about doing with that 2-car garage?
Yeah, I would love to force some equity by potentially making this into a triplex sometime in the near future. So that's my short-term plan.
Yeah, so what Ali means by that is he's spoken with the city, and he wants to potentially pull the permits to build an ADU right back in that garage, making this 3 units. And when he says force equity, It's what we call value add. He's adding the value to the property where it might cost him maybe $150,000 to build the ADU, but the property should go up by $325,000 once he's done with that. So an excellent thing to consider when you're looking at properties. We're not just looking at what is it today, what's the income of today. It's what's the income of today, but can we change it? What strategic moves can we do? Airbnb being one of them, ADUs being another. What things can we do to add value to make sure that you guys are winning in the game of real estate? Now that this has been a complete success, right? You got to live for free. What does your dad think now?
Yeah, I mean, my dad was skeptical initially, especially with the short-term model, but it's funny because now he's like almost considering selling his stock, his retirement stock, and getting into an Airbnb himself. So it's funny how that changed.
I love it. I love it. And I want to thank you, Ali, because you kind of have a proven successful model here in Long Beach. I know that I connected you with one of my good friends. One of my clients owns a lot of real estate, had never done Airbnb. I connected the two, and Ali was able to help him, consult him to get that plan ready in place. Ali, I know that consulting on Airbnb is something that you're willing to offer. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Absolutely, yeah. I would love to help folks set up their Airbnbs and optimize their listings and really leverage technology. So if you have some long-term units that you're considering making into a short-term unit, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help. And my info will be in the video description.
I just want to say, Ali, I'm so proud of you. I love what you've done. You've made a property that needed some work, wasn't in the best area. You saw an opportunity, you took it. Not everyone was supporting you. You raised the money all by yourself. And I do have to mention, Ali just got into Berkeley Law. So he's gonna be moving, and he's gonna be an attorney, and he's gonna be an excellent attorney at that. And so this is why we call this the Client Success Series. Yes, Ali's successful with this property, but he's just a successful person in life, and so we just appreciate having the chance to the opportunity to work with you. He found us on YouTube, and so who's going to be the next Ali? We look forward to hearing from you.
Amazing. Yeah.
Any last words?
Yeah, I would just say thank you, Juan. I think just like I worked with a lot of agents, especially in the Bay Area, and finding someone that specialized in multifamily was like really what I was looking for, not someone that was just doing, single family homes. So you really like gave me that vote of confidence to go through with the project, and I really appreciate it.
That's
Juan.
awesome, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.